couple jobs get filled. Talking about Houston, H-Town, bringing Lovie Smith in. The accusations by Brian Flores' attorneys that, you know what, the only reason he wasn't hired, he was a clear and obvious choice for the job, as opposed to Lovie Smith, who was in-house defensive coordinator, did a great job with the Bears, struggled a little bit with Tampa Bay. They were in kind of a rebuilding process. Imagine that. You know, and they ultimately made some decisions that I didn't agree with at the end of his tenure. But then people look ultimately at what he did in college. And this is the irony of this. And you wait this, it was awesome. I saw a friend of mine put this out on social media. We never penalize Nick Saban as a coach in college for his time in the NFL. So why should we penalize Lovie Smith as an NFL coach for what he did in college? That doesn't make any sense to me. And it was a little aha moment as I saw that and thought about it. Like, the heck are we talking about here? Yeah, he struggled at Illinois, wasn't great. He's a little bit older. Everyone's hiring younger coaches, but that shouldn't exclude him from an opportunity to get the job. And I can't sit here and say that Brian Flores is a clear and obvious better candidate for that position. Lovie Smith's taking a team to a Super Bowl. He has a winning record as a head coach in the NFL. Like, that's pretty darn impressive. And it's really difficult to do. Yeah, it's been a while since he's had that success. And so you can debate about that all you want. But to speak in finalities and certainties, well, I don't think that necessarily that's the way to go. And then another job, the New Orleans Saints, they end up hiring Dennis Allen. In-house guy, very similar. Defensive coordinator, they give him the job. They've got no quarterback. They're way, way over the cap. And, you know, you wonder, it's kind of maybe possibly a rebuild, or they're going to try to retool, but there could be some pain. But if I was an NFL head coach, aspiring head coach, coordinator, whatever it is, I don't know if I would want either one of those jobs anyway. Houston, yeah, they're going to probably move on from Deshaun Watson. They've get some assets back, but that's going to be a long-term build. And you look at New Orleans, you've had 20 years of greatness with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. That's a tough act to follow, especially when you're going to be going through cap purgatory and trying to find a way to keep some of these great young players. And, you know, the Alvin Kamara's, who's in his own hot water, by the way, for what happened out in Vegas and the assault that occurred there. He could be missing games. You know, the Marshawn Lattimore's, guys like that. You've got to try to find a way to keep these guys together. Michael Thomas hadn't played in a while. What's the deal with him? He's got the ankle injury. Is that something they're going to want to keep? He's got a big price tag. Do they move on from him? Like, all of these questions, I don't know if there's any great answers for them. And so if you're looking at this, I don't know if those would have been great jobs anyway. And so if you're a minority coach that gets it, I mean, everyone's going to be upset if you get fired in 2 or 3 years. Well, you're probably not going to have much of a chance to win. I don't know if Dennis Allen is going to survive this thing. Maybe they find a way to soft land it, take back off, you know, go 7-10 for 1 year, maybe 8-9, and then ascend back up and finding a quarterback and getting their cap situation structure figured out. But it's not going to be easy. I can promise you that. It's not going to be an easy situation to kind of handle. So does anyone even want either one of those jobs? For me, if it was my first job in the NFL, or maybe even worse, my second chance, if I hadn't had a ton of success the first go around, I don't know if I'd want to touch those. Dennis Allen, it's his second shot. So he's going to have to find a way to make it work. Lovie Smith as well, but he's much further down the line, if you will, in his coaching career than Dennis Allen.